guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've actually never done this type of video before, but I've gotten this request a little bit. So what we're going to be doing today is breaking out how much I actually spend in a month living in Medellin, Colombia, outside of the US. I still have some expenses back in the US, and now I realize as I'm doing this, and I think it's going to be a series. So if you're interested in seeing more of the behind the scenes, day in the life stuff of how much we make, how much we spend, either personally or in the business, just let me know and I will keep doing this and we can go from there. So first off, here's the tool that I just switched over to. Not sure if you guys know, but Mint, which was my personal budgeting tool before, it's gone. They stopped using it as a service. I think they want to get everyone over to Credit Karma. So basically it's done. So I had to look for a new one. I was looking all over the place. I was looking on Reddit. I was looking on Facebook groups. I was trying different ones out myself. Wasn't really finding a lot of good ones, especially like free good ones. So I went with Monarch. I'll run you guys through some of the features in this since this is like the first one. It is not a free service. It's actually a paid yearly service. I think it's $99 a year, but if you jump in with either the promo code that they offer or a code that I'll put under the video, I think you can get it for $50 a year, or at least $50 for the first year. So I think I'm paying $50 for the first year. But anyway, I wanted to try to figure out a better tool or option than Mint in general. And when they were getting rid of Mint, had to find one. So ended up jumping over to Monarch, and actually I like it a lot more. I thought I was gonna have this big learning curve, and I was used to Mint. I'd been using Mint for like 4 or 5 years. Monarch is actually way better and actually has a lot more features, and it's just way less buggy. So maybe the fact that we're paying, it actually goes somewhere as opposed to Mint. Maybe it was like the little stepchild or whatever thing they didn't care about because people weren't paying for it. It was just part of QuickBooks. But anyway, let's jump in. I actually just want to go through this personally, and I'll do this sort of as my own accountability, but I think you guys are going to find this interesting also. So what I did here was I filtered this for the last month. So you can do 7 days, 14 days, this month, last month, 3 months, 6 months, year, last year, whatever. And you could do, I think, others as well. But anyway, I wanted to just see what I personally spent in the last month. Every new year, I evaluate what my expenses are, how much money we have coming in, and I like to just know. It's not always my favorite thing to do, but with the help of a bookkeeper and a good accountant, has gotten much easier. But more to come on that, and I'll keep updating you guys as I find little tips and hacks to do that. But anyway, let's jump right in. So for the entire month, I spent a little over $9,000. And as you're going to see, there's a bunch of things in here that maybe should be lower, maybe should be higher, but I think should be lower. Okay. First, what I did was I sorted this by high to low. So it has the biggest expenses first. And as you could see here, there's a couple biggies that are popping up more than they should. All right. First off, rent. Actually, my rent in this apartment is $1,000 because I had a little bit of an issue. That is what this $1,000 is here, but I had to send $2,000 as a deposit. So I don't know if this should or shouldn't be in here, but anyway, it is. So my first large expense from the last 30 days was a deposit. I should get this back. So maybe my expense really is only $7,000. We'll see. If any of you guys know how to properly categorize rental deposits, let me know. Maybe I should have it in there, maybe not, or something else. Anyway, this is for a country club that I'm a member at in New York. Not really so fun paying $1,000 to not use something, especially when it's freezing back in New York. I think it snowed this week, so I wouldn't use it anyway, but it's sort of just the yearly cost. And in January, which is the month we're in now, they add in a bunch of other expenses that are for the year. So normally it's not that high in an off month, but it is this case. Okay, this is rent, so $1,000 in rent. Then also I have a car payment. What I think I'm actually gonna do, guys, and drop a comment below if you have any feedback on this. I think what I'm gonna do is actually turn the car in May when the lease is up. And I think what I'm gonna do is actually just rent a car on Turo for the months that I am in New York over the summer, because I don't really love dealing with oil changes and maintenance and the stuff that comes with having to negotiate a lease and negotiate buying a car. Just don't really enjoy it. I'm not there for half the year. I just need something from A to B. So paying this every month for a car that I don't use for half the year gets a little annoying. And also the insurance is on here somewhere. I think it's another $200 or so, but don't need it, don't want it. So yeah. Okay, this is where aware, sometimes lifestyle creep can become an issue, but if you can afford it and you're still able to do still what you want, it is what it is. So you see here, these are two other country clubs that I'm a member at. One is in New York and one is in Colombia. Okay, this is a mistake. Shouldn't have been double charged. I was told that then this will apply to the next month, so maybe this is another expense that shouldn't be there. So maybe now we're under 7,000 for the month. That'd be cool. It is what it is. And here's another one. Some of you guys have asked what my insurance is, what insurance provider I use. This is Cigna. It's an awesome insurance company or provider, I guess, that covers worldwide. And the way that I set this up was it covers for 6 months in New York and then 6 months in Medellin. The reason I was double charged here is actually because they just bill every 30 days instead of monthly. So this is another thing that probably, like when I'm looking at a 30-day report, doesn't really need to be like factored in here. Right now, here's that car insurance I mentioned. Kind of a pain in the ass. I'm paying $600 a month for a car that I'm not using. I've mentioned this before in other videos and content. I don't need a car in Medellin. In Medellin, everything is walkable, or Ubers are like $2. So you just don't need a car. So I don't love paying for this when I'm not using it in New York. But actually, I just talked to my mom and she's going to start using my car. She might throw me a few bucks for insurance. Probably not, just because she's my mom and I want to have her just, get along. And if it's snowing, she wants a bigger car, but whatever. I don't drive the car. I don't need it. I don't think I'm going to do this next year. I think I'm going to go on Turo and just rent a car for 5 or 6 months and be done with it. The rest of it, guys, what I might do here, you might find this more interesting. I might categorize this or pull up the category view. I think that might be a little more interesting. So this isn't like an ad for Monarch. I do like Monarch, but they're not like paying me to say this. I just like that you can sort these views very easily. Maybe you could do it with Mint, but I just find it to be a little easier here. And also, actually I take that back. You could do it with Mint, but the thing that Mint was horrible at was auto categorizing. Like you would go out to the same restaurant every week and it would categorize that as like gas station, just not that intuitive. But with this, I didn't have to update really anything when it uploaded about like 5,000 transactions. I went through like eyeing as many of them as I could. Most of them were spot on except for a few random ones that I wouldn't have expected it to know no matter what. So anyway, it's pretty good, but I still recommend jumping in and categorizing stuff or just reviewing it when you're first setting it up. And then I think it sort of has like a memory to figure it out from there. But anyway, here's like a better view that if I look at the month. So this is really only 1,000. This is about $300 less because I get double charged, but still a little insane when I think about paying $1,700 a month for like golf. Some of which I'm using, some of which I'm not. More to come on that in the future. I spend on food and like groceries, typically like $1,500 a month. My budget for food every day is like $50 a month. So that might be crazy. That might not be, you tell me. But eat out delivery like most of my meals. Usually if I'm just like eating lunch and dinner by myself in Colombia, my food for the day is like $25, but the $50 creeps in when I go to dinner on the weekends or on Saturdays, like my cheat day. So I just kind of eat whatever and it adds up. Or like I just budget that because that's also factoring in living in New York half the year when New York is just crazy expensive. Just like hurts me to even think about what I spend on food there. But yeah, and then we have like medical insurance. Again, what I like about Monarch is that you can click into this really easily and click back out. It was not that easy with Mint. But anyway, as you can see here, guys, these are my expenses. I think next month is going to be lower. And I think after that, I'm just going to keep like weeding things out. Even just doing this simple exercise of going into Monarch, looking at my transactions, categorizing them. One, I enjoy using Monarch more than Mint. So it's a little bit more of like fun experience. I don't know if fun is the right word, but it's a little bit more of like a pleasant experience. But as you go through the line items in this, you start to realize I'm spending money on crap that I don't need to spend money on. Okay. And what I always do in my head, where my mind goes, is I start to think about where could this money be going if I wasn't spending it? So if I wasn't spending $300 on something that I don't even use, I could take that money and I could put it into maybe an index fund, or I could just use it to get golf lessons, or I could maybe get a better apartment if I'm going to rent something, or a better car. All these things. I just always in my head, I'm thinking what's wasted, what could be reutilized, and just put towards better use. Anyway, a little bit of a longer video here, a little rambly, but just wanted to do this as a first one. I'm going to be doing this monthly, sort of as my monthly review, as accountability to myself. Definitely recommend you guys do the same, but let me know what comments, questions you have, if anything jumped out on here as something that seems crazy, if you think I'm spending way too much money, if I'm an idiot spending this much money in Colombia, it's okay. I get it. I don't, be nice, I guess, or just let me know what you think. All good. And we'll have more on this later. And also I'll drop a link to Monarch if you want to check that out, and some other links for stuff that may be helpful for you guys. So anyway, that is it. Hope you have a great rest of your day, month, night, whenever you're watching this. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.